A new investigation has uncovered something really disturbing happening inside UK schools. It's a threat that's putting young lives at risk every single day, and we're going to break down exactly what's going on.
So let's start with a number, 60%. That's the absolutely staggering increase in the number of children caught with a knife in UK schools in just the last 2 years. And this isn't just a statistic, It's a sign of a massive crisis that's building up right behind the school gates.
And to be really clear, people are taking this incredibly seriously. Experts, the ones actually on the ground dealing with this, are calling it the single biggest threat to an entire generation. A statement like that, well, it really shows you how urgent this whole thing is.
So let's get into the heart of it. We're going to pull back the curtain on what's really happening inside our schools and take a look at the forces that are driving this deadly trend. Okay, so the big question is, why? Why is this happening? And it's not a simple answer. It's definitely not just about bad kids. The investigation shows that the reasons are really deep-rooted in a culture of fear that we absolutely need to understand. So the first and probably the most important thing to get your head around is that for a lot of these kids, the reason they're carrying a knife has nothing to do with aggression. It's actually something way more primal and honestly a lot more tragic. Protection. That's it. That's the number one reason these kids give. They say they're scared, and they genuinely believe that a knife is the only thing that's going to keep them safe, especially on the walk to and from school. It's a defensive mindset that's born out of this constant feeling of being in danger. And this quote from one of the young people in the investigation, wow, it just perfectly explains the trap they're in. Fear spreads. One kid carries a knife, so another feels they have to, and then another, and soon you've got this vicious cycle where everyone feels like they have to arm themselves, which just makes everyone less safe. But here's the thing, that real-world fear is being cranked up to 11 in the digital world. It's creating this weird online environment where carrying a weapon around starts to seem, well, normal. Now, this slide really shows the massive disconnect that's happening. For most of us, right, seeing someone waving a knife around is deeply shocking. It's criminal. But for some kids online, it's just another video to scroll past. Or worse, it's seen as a flex, a way to show off. So how does this happen? Well, a head teacher named Sam Walters breaks it down really well. You've got kids sitting in their rooms for hours, just scrolling and scrolling. The more they're exposed to images of knives and violence, the less of an impact it has. It slowly but surely desensitizes them. And that is the crucial point right there. This constant fire hose of online content is actually changing their brains. It's changing what they see as normal and acceptable, and the line between some stupid post online and real-world violence gets dangerously thin. But it actually gets worse. Social media isn't just making the violence seem normal, it's also become a marketplace. The investigation found out just how terrifyingly easy it is for a kid to get their hands on a lethal weapon. I mean, look at this. Police investigations uncovered this ridiculously simple path. Sellers are just out there operating on platforms like Snapchat with zero age checks. A kid can literally order something like a zombie knife from their phone and have it delivered right to their house. And this is what's so chilling for any parent. It's happening right under their noses. A police officer talked about finding these huge, lethal knives in a teenager's bedroom, and his mom had absolutely no idea they were even in the house. So when you put it all together, this deep-seated fear, the normalization of violence online, and how easy it is to get a weapon, you start to see why the age of the kids getting involved is dropping like a stone. And that's maybe the biggest challenge of all. 9. Just look at that number, 9. That was the age of the youngest child a youth mentor in this investigation had come across carrying a knife. Just let that sink in for a second. 9 years old. And that youth mentor, Malachi Nunez, explains the story. The boy's older brother was in a gang, he was in jail, and this 9-year-old was convinced he was going to be next. So in his head, carrying that knife wasn't a choice, it was survival. He was literally living with a kill or be killed mentality. And really, this is the question at the very heart of this crisis. If the root cause isn't about kids being evil, but about them being terrified, then just punishing them isn't going to solve it. The challenge isn't just about getting knives off the street, it's about trying to dismantle this entire culture of fear that has convinced a generation of kids that they need a weapon just to survive.